You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Welcome to your Monday. What's up? Kevin and Diener here with you.
What's up, buddy?
Talking a little football, man.
Yes, sir.
Boy, a fun weekend. Did you happen to see any of Ray Lewis's acceptance speech, the Hall of Fame? Oh, my gosh, this is unbelievable. I could not believe it. I was just watching. I watched all 33 minutes and 17 seconds of this. I'm like, I couldn't even believe it.
Did you watch start to finish?
Oh, my gosh. He was just, I couldn't believe, because, normally when you see award shows, and I know, the Hall of Fame, they let him go a little bit more, but I'm going, are they ever going to stop this guy? And is he ever going to stop himself? I mean, he knew he was going to go for a while when he got up on stage. I mean, he went up there with the towel.
He was ready.
Because he knew the bright lights were going to be overwhelming.
That dude was sweating through his jacket.
It was unbelievable.
Yes.
I was just like, preach, Brother Ray.
It was really something.
Oh, it was, I don't even know what I liked most about it. I mean, it was just, the revelations. From his playing to getting his numbers.
There was a lot in there, man. But I know what you mean, because I came in a little bit late.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. If I was watching from the start of his thing, I would have watched the entire 33 minutes as well. But I think I missed the first 7 or 8 minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
And as soon as I put it on, instantly captivated. I see him walking around the stage.
It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Incredible.
I mean, the people, I heard he brought over 100 people there, the 22,000. So he had his own section. But he was prepared, and I don't know if he thought any of that through, because it just seemed like he was one constant stream of consciousness.
It really was, yeah.
He was all over the place. If a thought came to his mind, Brother Ray was saying it.
He was saying it.
It was just everywhere.
And there were 2 things that are funny to me from that. Number 1 was he actually had notes that he left on the podium. And that's just funny to me because he speak off the top of his head, number 1.
Yeah.
And number 2, he wasn't even at the podium.
No.
He had a microphone around his ear ready to walk around.
I cannot be chained down to one place.
What's the point of having those notes on the podium?
Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Ray Lewis. I mean, it was just one thing after another. I mean, I don't know what was the best. This might be the best soundbite out of the whole thing.
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth. Don't hate. Don't hate. Stay with me now. Don't hate.
Stay with me.
Stay with me.
Just like, what? That's why I kiss you in the mouth. I love you.
It was, man, when I heard that part live. And that's that kind of moment where you just kind of take a step back. You kind of do a double take.
I'm the same thing. I was watching my wife. I'm like, is he talking about and it's like he doesn't kiss them on the mouth. I think he kisses them in the mouth.
He said in, right?
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth.
He said in.
Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth. Don't
And
hate.
he said it twice.
I kiss all my kids in the mouth.
It's a wrong use of prepositions, right?
On the mouth. I kiss you in the mouth.
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth.
He does.
What are you doing?
In the mouth.
I mean, this came up, a few months back before the Super Bowl with Tom Brady kissing his son on the lips?
Yeah, no, Ray Lewis, I see you and I raise you. I kiss my kids.
All of them.
All of them at the same time. In the mouth. My tongue is out and I will kiss all my kids in the mouth.
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth. Don't hate.
I love it.
That's so good. What? That's such a good point, though. I never noticed he said in and not on.
In the mouth. Then Ray Lewis is going on about his fat brother.
My little brother grabbed me, and I'm going to tell it because I'm supposed to tell it. He was so fat and his cheeks were so chubby, we called him Muffin Man. I got to tell people the truth, And he was so fat, right? And I used to squeeze his stomach. Remember the commercial used to say, Sega, Sega. So I used to squeeze his fat stomach to make his stomach say Sega.
I love that this actually happened.
Isn't this making any sense to anyone? What is he doing? He's going.
Rambling.
I loved it. It was like the constant stream of consciousness of a madman.
Yes.
A madman.
for 33 minutes straight.
I mean, just going on, talking about his squirrel dance and what it means.
So when I started coming out of the tunnel, I wanted to really start to honor God. So it was funny because when I went to the right, it was for the Father.
Okay, for the Father.
Okay.
When I came to the left, it was for the Son.
Okay, for the Son.
Yeah.
The Father, the Son, and then the middle was the Holy Spirit.
Right? It should be.
Yeah.
When I came back for the middle, it was for the Holy Father, Son, all in one.
What?
Ray!
What? Father Ray, wait. Wait, Father Ray, hold on. It's the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
He misspoke.
Well, I misspoke.
It's,
But I love my kids.
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth.
Stop. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Oh, my gosh.
So gross. Look,
But,
oh, man.
Father Ray left you with these parting words of wisdom.
Yes.
Think about this. Take us from we can go from being legends into building a legacy bigger than football, bigger than sports. I want us to work together to really take on these challenges, to look at our goals, at what unites us. Surely there's something. How about stopping our kids from dying in schools? Can we please put prayer back in schools?
Yeah, he went a lot of different ways.
Oh,
in that speech.
I mean, it was a full out. That was a Brother Ray sermon. And honestly, if he opened a church, I'd go tomorrow.
I said
Just to hear it.
I didn't feel like I needed to go to church the next day after watching that speech. I'm like, I already went.
You don't even know what he'd be talking about. He'd be preaching one thing and be like, I love bacon sandwiches. I don't know what it is about bacon.
The Holy Father loves bacon
It's
sandwiches.
delicious. It's so good.
Come on, Ray. He just went so many different ways, and some things were inspirational, and some things were really nice, and then you had other things where he's talking about Sega and his brother's fat stomach.
He's one of the best ever. I just don't even know how you top it. It was 33 minutes and 17 seconds of what?
You know what's the most surprising thing about that entire thing?
Yeah.
Is that he still does not have the longest speech in Hall of Fame history.
What is it?
Brett Favre.
Really?
Brett Favre at 36 minutes. He was just short.
Oh.
3 minutes short.
Well, I've got more to say.
I'm surprised he didn't get there.
That was just part one. This is the first quarter.
He's coming. It's halftime. He's coming back.
You may go to the bathroom and come back.
And nobody's telling Ray it's time to go. He could
Get
be
a
up there for an
tasty
hour.
beverage.
Take a break. Stretch your legs.
Take a break. I'm going to be here and kiss my kids in the mouth while you're gone.
I felt so bad for them. The camera pans over to them, and they're all just shaking their heads no.
Probably with everything they hear, that's probably nothing. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's nothing. That's just what it is.
Good point.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So, yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of the weekend football-wise. Johnny Manziel is awful.
Is that a highlight or a low light?
That was a low light. Yeah, that was
Good.
unbelievable, man. 4 picks in the first half. Is that what it was? They benched him?
So
Dude's
bad.
done. Wow. I mean, he was like, hey, I've had ups and downs, but man, dang. That's crazy.
I mean, I
4
can go out there and
interceptions,
do
no
that.
touchdowns. Yeah.
Jeez.
His team lost 47-3, and that was the team that just traded him, too.
47-3 was
47-3 is what I'd be in the final, yeah. Yeah, I it's like people kind of watch Johnny Manziel for the comeback, kind of like they watch Tiger. Odds-on favorite,
No. Nope.
Tiger's got a much better chance of returning than Johnny Manziel. I'm just telling you that. Yeah, I went to the Dolphins scrimmage over the weekend, too.
Right. Yeah, how'd that go?
It was cool. I mean, there was, some interesting stuff. Crowd I thought was kind of weak. I mean, I thought it was great. I had a good time. First time, really, I've been able to check out the stadium. So there's a lot of stuff I saw in there that I liked, including 2 craft beer bars.
Hey,
Very
now.
nice.
There you go.
Both of them. Yeah, it was all good. But they had a lot of pre-snap penalties. In fact, they had 6 in 36 plays.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
Yeah, and the Dolphins have been the second most penalized team in the league for the past couple of years, so that looks like that's still a problem. They're running gassers because of it.
Good.
Mike Gesicki, that guy can catch like crazy, but like I told you, he got blown by on a couple blocks. He is
man.
when he's out there, he is a major liability, and that's just tough because other than third down, when are you going to put him on the field?
You have to put him, basically, he's a hybrid tight end. He can't block. We
Yeah.
know this, okay? We know this. The guy cannot block. Do not, for the love of Ryan Tannehill's knee and Kenyon Drake's health, do not put him on the line. Please.
Yeah.
So if you're going to play him, just put him on like a halfway split tight end. Just split him out almost like a slot receiver, but not all the way out. Like
I think
a slot
you're
receiver.
right. I mean, it might be time to think about a position change with this guy. I mean, he
That's
can
what I'm
catch
saying.
like a maniac, but I mean, that guy can't block. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Tannehill was 3 for 6, 33 yards. Okay, no touchdowns. Brock Osweiler was the big story. He
Don't
went
tell me that.
7 for 7, 50 yards passing. It was a short little slot, kind of dink and dunk kind of touchdown. But he said afterwards, I've had a tremendous camp.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Don't
He
tell
looked
me
good.
this.
David Fales 3 for 4. He had 16 yards passing. Kalen Ballage 6 rushing attempts for 2 yards.
That's not a good stat line.
No, that wasn't awesome. Kenyon Drake went 3 rushes for 10 yards, and Danny Amendola 2 catches for 18. But Charles Harris looked good off the
Okay.
edge, man. He was quick. So those were some of the highlights that happened there. And they got Frank Gore as a co-starter with Kenyon Drake at running back.
I love this. Did you see what Adam Gase said about this? I mean,
No.
literally just about 10 minutes ago. He comes out, they were asking him about it. Hey, what's with the depth chart? Frank Gore is co-starter listed with Kenyon Drake. They're like, what led you to do that? His actual answer was, I was just being an a-hole.
That's what he said?
That's what he said.
He's trying to troll.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is. I mean, they've got, Frank Gore there really to try to get Kenyon Drake and have somebody push him.
I guess so.
And that's the way you do it.
That's what it is. I mean, Frank Gore, look, I love the guy. He's a Hall of Famer. He's entering his 15th
Yeah.
season, one of the best Canes of all time. But he's not gonna
He's not going to get a lot of snaps. He's not going to
No.
play any of the preseason games.
I mean,
So-
I probably not. You probably won't see him in the preseason
No.
games. But he'll play for the Dolphins. He'll probably be a decent role player for them this year. But I just love Adam Gase's answer. He said, don't look too much into this depth chart.
Okay.
I did it to be an a-hole, is what he said.
Well, you see a little bit of action Thursday night. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Hard Rock Stadium, their first preseason game. Canes kicked it off over the weekend, got their camp going, and they've ranked the best college players. Where did the best from Florida stand out? We'll talk about it next.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, hashtag Kevin's Other Show.
We got to be excited. Your Miami Hurricanes kicked off their camp on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Kind of got it going. Apparently, the quarterbacks were not real sharp on day one.
It's all right. It'll be okay.
You're right. It's a day one, baby.
Optimistic.
We'll see how it winds up going. They got plenty of time left, but it's just nice to kind of get the whole thing going. They've ranked out the best college football players. And of the top 50 that's in there, got quite a few from Clemson. In fact, they got 2 of the top 5. It's on that defensive line.
They're scary, man.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence right up there. The top quarterback is Will Grier. Gator fans know him. He used to be there. Now he's at West Virginia.
You have been touting this guy on West Virginia for a couple of months now.
Well, they've got a really good receiver in Grier,
Right.
and then they got Stills, who's one of the top players at wide receiver.
Right.
So they've got a nice little combo there. They're going to have offense. I think the big problem with West Virginia is they don't have a lot of depth, and then their defense. We'll see what happens.
If they can hold teams to under 50 points, then they'll have a shot to win.
That's basically it,
That's
yeah.
what it's going to come down to.
Nick Bosa, formerly St. Thomas Aquinas, he's defensive end for Ohio State. He's ranked 6th best college player
Not bad.
that they've got. Looking at some of the better players from state of Florida, you got number 1 from Florida, Mackenzie Milton. That's the quarterback for UCF. They got him at number
Oh.
20
Really?
on the list.
So UCF has a player in the top 20.
If you're looking at the Florida schools, yeah, he is. That is the first one listed at number 20, and that's QB from UCF. They got Cam Akers, the running back from Florida State, listed as the 21st best college player. He's only a sophomore, too, so he's got a little bit of time.
Man,
You got Shaq Quarterman. There you go for your Canes.
There you
He's
go.
Ranked 48.
that's all right. He made it.
He did.
It's good.
And then Devin Motor Singletary, number 50,
How
FAU.
about that?
It's pretty awesome.
FAU rounding out the top 50. Don't tell Lane Kiffin, though. He's going to call it rat poison.
Rat poison, baby.
Don't tell him.
Boy, Lane Kiffin, did you see him, man? He was active on Twitter over the weekend.
Yes, he was. There was a few things going on Twitter this weekend. So
Yeah, he got caught up in that whole thing that was going on with LeBron James and Donald Trump.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So crazy, man. Yeah, the president, like, trolling LeBron James, basically, like, calling him a dummy. And then,
Did. Yeah.
And then Trump's wife is, like, backing up LeBron.
Yep.
And
She did.
It's just so. I mean, it really is so bizarre. I mean, the president of the United States, the first lady, kind of in a Twitter argument about LeBron James in the middle, and then Lane Kiffin. I just love he trolled out some kind of like little tweet about like what was it, like marriage problems or something like that.
Yes, he did.
Is
Yeah,
that what it was that he said?
He hashtagged something problems at home. I think is something like that. And he hashtagged it, and then he put at Melania and at real Donald Trump.
Yeah, he went after him.
He did.
His troll game's pretty solid.
He used a broken heart emoji.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
He retweeted Melania Trump's tweet where she was saying that, she would visit LeBron James' school and he's done a lot of good for his community. And, that was a mess. Man, when I saw that, I don't know what your reaction was. When I saw that Friday night, because it came out late Friday night and I was still awake, I'm like, wait, what? Is this real? Like, I thought it was something from The Onion.
Yeah, no, it's just still, I mean, yeah, well, when you spell it out, I mean, when you say it out loud, you're like the president, first lady, in a sense, with a different take on LeBron James and Lane Kiffin in the mix. And you're just like, what?
Oh, and Michael Jordan. Don't forget Michael Jordan.
That's right.
was
Michael
involved too.
Jordan like jumped in on it too. And you're just like what? It's mass chaos.
It really was. What a time to be alive, man.
Yeah, it really is just
something.
well, I mean, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's scary that it's, the president of the United States, but it's every day. It's like reality TV is going on. You're feeling like you're watching some kind of spoof.
Yeah.
That's happening.
I mean, it's just so, everything was just crazy with that. LeBron saying, in his interview with Don Lemon from CNN, where he's saying he would never sit across from Donald Trump, even if asked for a one-on-one sit down, which I didn't think would be very productive. Why not sit down and talk to the guy they have disagreements with? But that's just me.
Right.
And then Donald Trump coming out and saying that essentially LeBron is dumb, and that's not very productive. I mean, I just don't understand.
It's not going anywhere. None of it's going anywhere.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's just some crazy stuff.
It was nuts. I mean, for Donald Trump to end the tweet saying, "I like Mike," and I'm like, what?
It's insane, wasn't it?
I had to read that tweet a few times to realize what I was reading actually happened.
The whole thing is just, it really is. It's just, you can't even wrap your brain around like what's going on with all this stuff. But I mean, I guess it's going to be the future of it. We're going to see it for a while, unless something happens, where he's not president anymore.
How great would it be, though? They should have LeBron James is all about charity, right? So you put LeBron James and Donald Trump on a one-on-one forum together. Like they would televise Donald Trump and Hillary debates, and those guys
like it'd be a debate,
ratings.
like it'd be like Donald Trump versus LeBron.
Not so much versus, but just a one-on-one town hall maybe forum where they're there together in the same spot, at the same time, speaking to each other with maybe like-minded individuals, community leaders, whatever it may be.
I just don't want to be productive. I
don't know.
I think,
but it'll make for great TV.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody would watch. I mean everybody, whatever he does, love it or hate it. I mean people watch what Trump does. He's good for ratings.
Yeah, and just have the ratings, the money from the advertisers go to charity.
Yeah.
Do that.
That's what it's all about.
It's amazing.
Another thing that was big Friday, since we talked about the Urban Meyer stuff, he puts out a statement. There are interviews going on with Zach Smith. And then you've got Buckeye fans that are trying to rally behind Urban. They've got, I don't even know, something online, like 25,000 people have signed this petition supporting Urban Meyer. And then they're going to be doing a rally tonight outside of Ohio Stadium. And, I mean,
are they?
Yeah, they are. And look at me. I mean, I'm wearing a Buckeye, sweatshirt right now. I don't know. I don't know if it's good form. I mean, look, I don't know what you're going to gain in all this. I mean, for Buckeye fans, to me, it's like, okay, look, I think they've got this commission together. It's going to take them 2 weeks.
Right.
They're putting together everything with Urban Meyer. I feel like he's going to get a fair chance, and they're going to go through all the facts. So it's like, I don't know what, if they weren't giving him any kind of facts and they just fired him without, doing the due process, then okay, then you sign a petition, then you have a rally saying, look, let this guy have a chance. Let's be fair. Let's make sure that we go through all the evidence and the facts before you make a decision. But they're doing that, so I don't even know what this is all about.
It's almost like the moves that these fans are doing are preemptive to anything bad that could happen to Urban Meyer. It's like this is what they would be doing if he was fired, but they're just doing it now, and he's still going.
Well, it's almost saying, the reason why I don't necessarily like, this rally tonight, it's saying, look, in a sense, we don't necessarily care about the facts. We want him to be coach regardless. And I don't think that's the right move. I think it's an investigation. And the right move is if this guy knew and kept a guy that was an abuser on his staff for several years, he's not living up to the code that he's established for his players, which the coaches have got to abide by. And so your culture is tainted. And how can anybody respect Urban Meyer going forward if that is the case?
And it seems like, from everything that broke over the weekend, I mean, when all this stuff was happening, there's so much happening. I was thinking, I'm like, man, it's like the type of weekend where you wish you could do like a Saturday morning show because there was just so much that happened Friday night.
Yeah.
And from what Urban was saying in the statement is that he said, I regret the way I handled Big Ten Media Day. He wasn't exactly forthcoming with the media, which, big deal. I mean, so what there? And then he goes on to say that he was forthcoming with the administration, did everything he was supposed to with reporting and the proper procedures. And if that's the case, then case closed. I mean, why waste any more time on this?
Well, and I think the next thing is they've got to decide, did he have reason to believe that Zach Smith, was abusing his wife? And if he was, and I still think that even if he had reported it and he knows and he kept that guy on his staff, I think that's problematic, and you're going to have to answer to that.
That's not something he should or would get fired for, I think, because if he followed the rules and said, look, I reported it, if nobody's finding any wrongdoing, then it's out of my hands. At that point, that is just a judgment call at that point.
It is. You got to know what he knows, but I, as a Buckeye fan, I would, if he knew and be like, going, come on, man, pretty well that he was abusing his wife and you kept him on staff. I think it's a problem for me as a Buckeye fan, and I don't know how I'd feel about Urban Meyer keeping his job at that point.
So even if they're finding no wrongdoing administration-wise, if they're finding no wrongdoing, but in Urban's case, if he's saying, you know what, I know something's going on here, they're just not seeing it.
If he knew, I got a problem with them keeping him. If he knew and allowed that to go on for 3 years. Now, I mean, if he's doing his work and saying, look, the cops are investigating, and I there's reason to believe that this guy, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, that nothing happened, and the cops are telling me, look, dude, nothing is happening. If that was told to Urban Meyer, then what does he do?
Right.
Because I don't think that would be fair to be firing somebody that's accused of something that the cops and him are both telling me that they're not doing.
Exactly.
Then if that's the case, then yeah, Urban should keep his job. But if he knew and they're like going, look, we told Urban a lot of stuff, and I don't know why he kept him on staff, then I think he's got to go.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. 2 weeks is the timeline that they've given it, so we'll see how that all goes down. Coming up here, I didn't even want to talk to Leo today because I know he's not feeling it after what happened with the Yankees over the weekend.
I haven't really seen him much, to be honest with you. I kind of feel bad.
He's not feeling it. But I want to talk about the comeback kid, South Florida's very own Rick Ankiel. Is he coming back to baseball, and in what capacity? Some crazy stuff. We're going to try to talk to Rick coming up here in just a bit, too.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
Well, they've come out with the NBA over-under on wins. And I mean, this means absolutely really nothing.
It's just for degenerate gamblers like myself.
It is. This is all the Vegas odds. But, hey, I mean, there's money that's going to be played on it. So if you want to kind of like go down with some of the big teams and see what exactly has happened, who is going to have a better year according to Vegas standards? Who do they expect to be worse? When it comes to the Miami Heat, they don't think the Heat are going to have as good of a regular season next year as they had this year.
Confusing to me.
They have the Heat at 41.5 wins in the regular season, and last year they had 44. So they think a slight decline from where they were in the regular season. Now, Diener, why is Vegas going this way, thinking that the Heat are going to be worse next year than they were this year?
I really don't have a good answer on this. It's confusing to me because they're essentially bringing back the same team. I mean, maybe is it the speculation of Hassan Whiteside, how he's going to perform? Maybe that's it. I mean, Deion Waiters is coming back from injury. This is a guy that didn't have half the season last year, so they're going to be better right there.
Right. I think that's probably at least five plus games improvement. You would think.
And I mean, it's not like the East are complete world beaters. You have Philly and you have Boston and you have Toronto. I mean, that's it.
That could be part of it too.
Those are the only three good teams in the East.
Now they've got the Celtics 57.5 wins projected. They got the Raptors 54.5.
That's a tough number.
That really is. That's not giving a lot of credit to the moves the Raptors made in the offseason.
No, not at all. I mean, you just added Kawhi Leonard. You lost DeRozan, but you added a player who you think is going to be better.
Right.
I guess the only question is because the Raptors, I believe, did they have 60 wins? I have to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I thought they were.
I believe they had 60 wins.
Yeah.
If not, they were very close.
So they're saying that the Raptors have trended down with what they've done. And maybe the only thing is just the unpredictability of Kawhi Leonard seeming like he's not happy. And you saw when he was in San Antonio last year, he didn't give you a lot. Questionable injury.
That's
Could
the
he have
thing.
played? And when it seems like he doesn't want to be someplace, he's not going to play. So maybe that's what they're factoring into it, the mental status of Kawhi Leonard, not the physical.
They had 59 wins.
Okay,
the
right at
Raptors.
60.
And so that's what I'm wondering. Like you said, what are they factoring in with Kawhi? Is it the mental? Is it the physical? Is he going to play? I mean, is he going to sit out the season?
Yeah.
So that I'm assuming that has something to do with that low number because you're adding Kawhi Leonard, but you're giving them 5 less wins. Doesn't make much sense.
According to Vegas, LeBron James is worth an added 13.5 wins. Last year, the Lakers, 35 wins, 47 losses. This year, they got him at 48.5. That's Vegas's projections.
It's a fair number. They'll be a playoff team. The Lakers are going to make the playoffs. It's going to be as a 6 or a 7 seed. I can't see them. Can you see the Lakers winning in the first round? Let's say they get the 7 seed. You're either playing Houston or Golden State in the first round. Those are your 1 and 2 teams. There's
Right.
no way they beat either of those teams in the first round,
Okay,
right?
is it possible that they wind up a 5 seed? The Lakers.
Man.
And might that be something where LeBron is like, look, if we want to do anything in the playoffs, we're going to have to actually focus a little bit on the regular season and not dial it in and say, oh, all we have to do is just slide under the radar and get in. They may realize 7 or 8 seed is almost like, kiss of death.
Oh, absolutely. Because you have New Orleans who's going to be fighting for something. Mm-hmm. You have San Antonio who's still there. Portland. Maybe the Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that are going to be jockeying for position with that 3 through 6 spots, and that's where you don't want to be 7 or 8 because you're going to get either Golden State or Houston in the first round.
Do you think that the Rockets are going to be a better team without Carmelo Anthony?
With or without?
Well, I mean, they're going to be dealing, with or without. What do you think? Now that he's coming into town.
I don't know. I just don't see him making too much of a difference anymore. That's why I don't understand why people are making such a big deal out of where Carmelo was going to go. He's not the same player. He's just not. I mean, him and Dwayne Wade and LeBron all came in the same year together in 2003. Mm-hmm. And the only one that is still at the top of his game is LeBron. Wade's considering retirement. Carmelo's going to come off the bench for Houston. I mean, he'll make some threes for them. I don't see him being a huge difference maker.
Vegas has got the Rockets at 54.5 wins.
Same as Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's where they dial them in.
I definitely take the over on Houston. Are you kidding me? 54 wins?
Well, they've got Golden State at 62.
I take the over on that too.
62.5. You think they're going to do better than 62.5?
I think you're looking at 2 64-plus win teams with the Rockets and Warriors. Now the Warriors one, you might actually hit that right on the head. I could see them
That seems
having,
like a push, yeah.
Yeah, like a 62 and 20 season. I go a push on that one, but the Rockets 54.
Think that's low on that?
Way low. Give them 10 more games.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, how much is LeBron worth? He's worth an added 13 wins for the Lakers, but 20 more losses for the Cavs. They've got the Cavaliers projected at 30.5 wins. They had 50 last year with LeBron in the regular season.
That, man. So you're saying he's worth 20 wins for the Cavaliers.
No, he's worth 20 losses for the Cavaliers, 13 wins for the Lakers.
For the Lakers, okay.
Yeah. So that's the move. That's exactly what it means for 2 teams with and without LeBron James next year.
Because
at least according to Vegas.
Right, yeah, according to Vegas. Because remember when he left Cleveland the first time, Cleveland didn't have the luxury of having Kevin Love the first time that LeBron left. So at least Kevin Love is still there, and they might be able to stay respectable.
Right.
And maybe fight for an 8 seed. But they're not getting an 8 seed with 30 wins. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. That's rough, man. Rough.
Well, D. Wade, he was in L.A. playing some pickup ball with his kid. This week, he's going to be in Orlando, ESPN's Wide World of Sports. Some AAU stuff that's going on there. And the other night, he actually took in some karaoke with his former Bulls teammate, Jimmy Butler.
Oh, no.
Doing some Casey and JoJo.
Oh, here we go.
Big finish, baby. Come on, D-Wade. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Take it home. Did they stop? Oh, there it is.
That's complete. I mean, it's a complete disaster. That's at the point where we're just like, all right, we got to abort. Abort. This is not going well.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear Ray Lewis say he kisses his kids in the mouth again than listen to that.
Oh, Ray Lewis is much better than that.
That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth. Don't hate.
Oh, my life. I love to hear Ray Lewis doing karaoke.
Yeah. My ears hurt after this show so much.
That's an unbelievable story that's breaking today. Suits is telling me about this, who runs our YouTube. The CEO of NASCAR, a guy named Brian France, got arrested over the weekend for aggravated DUI.
It's incredible.
Had like some opiates or something like that on him. It was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I'm sitting there like going, okay, how does this happen? Like, dude, you run a league of drivers.
Yeah, exactly. It's so ironic.
You're a CEO
Yes.
of a league of drivers. When you're hammered and on who knows what, you can't get someone to drive you?
It makes no sense.
You can't be like, hey, Kevin Harvick. It's like anyone. I mean,
Call up Chase Elliott and be like, hey, let's go. I need a ride.
Hey, what you got going on? I'm really out of it right now. I need some help.
It's like Jim Irsay all over again. Why are these billionaires driving intoxicated?
I have no idea. It's the most unbelievable thing to me.
You can pay for an Uber.
Yeah.
You can pay for a personal driver. What are you doing? And like you said, the NASCAR CEO.
Yeah,
drivers.
Does not make any sense.
He's driving himself intoxicated.
No sense.
1.8 blood alcohol level, by the way.
Yep. Coming up here in just a couple minutes, Rick Ankiel had a nice little career with the St. Louis Cardinals. You probably know the story about how he's a pitcher, and then he got a little case of the yips, and then retrained himself to be an outfielder and became the comeback kid. What is the comeback kid? Got one more act. We're going to try to talk to Rick coming up next.
You can tell his wife, just don't tell those other guys. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Well, our boss Leo, who loves him, the Yankees, was in here on Friday talking about how big this series was with the Red Sox. And he was saying that if they split the series, that it is a loss for the Yankees. They were 3.5 back. Was it 3.5 back, I think, going into the series?
They were, no, it was a little bit more. I think it was the 5.5 back.
It was 5.5 back. Yeah, because, so it got a lot worse. They were swept. Now they're 9.5 back. Yeah, you're right. So they had to start 4-game series. Disastrous for the Yankees.
Man, it was so bad. That last one, last night, was really just a worst-case scenario for Yankees fans because you had a series where you were just trying to salvage a game at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they had opportunities. They played poorly for most of the series, but they had opportunities over the weekend at least, and especially last night when you're up 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, Kev, 2 outs.
I mean, that's soul crushing right there.
Oh, it was so bad.
And, it was on a little dink-dunk, kind of like well-placed hit that, wound up winning the game for the Red Sox, which is what they seem to do so well. I mean, they've got the long ball, but then they've just got the ability to move base runners, and it's that little stuff. It's those little things.
That's it.
To win the game.
And, I mean, I guess they're blaming Miguel Andujar for the error.
Right.
That allowed the Red Sox to, ended up tying the game. 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th with Chapman on the mound.
Right.
Just so rough. And he ended up getting swept and they lose in extra innings.
Yankees pitching wasn't horrible, but, like Leo had said on Friday, I mean, the Yankees did have a nice, comfortable lead in the wild card, so you weren't, too worried. You're like, yeah, we'd like to beat the Red Sox, but the Red Sox are having an unbelievable year. The Red Sox have won 8 of their last 9, 23 of their last 28 games.
It's insane what they're doing. It's not fair. I mean, you literally cannot compete with that.
They're 23-5. That's like a Little League record.
Yes, it's true.
It's unbelievable. It might arguably be the best Boston Red Sox team ever.
Isn't that amazing to say?
Then who are you going to have for MVP? You might have both. You might have a co-MVP.
I mean, it could be a couple of guys. Obviously, Mookie Betts comes to mind. I mean, there's a couple of guys where this team is just stacked at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody on the pitching staff?
So If you're a Yankees fan, I think realistically, like Leo, you're just like, okay, we're probably not going to catch the Red Sox, but we just can't get lapped by the A's. They're only 2.5 games up now on the A's in the wild card.
And Seattle.
Yeah.
Both 2.5.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Now, you got, Aaron Judge coming back, and I was saying that to Leo. I'm like, hey, it's, you're going to be fine. But, he's like, well, look right now at Houston. They're still doing well. They're missing a couple key players.
Yeah.
It's like they just can't be doing what they're doing.
And Boston is 79-34 on the season.
It's unreal.
Houston has 71 wins, and they're 8 games back of the best team in the American League with 71 wins.
It's pretty unreal.
It's wild.
Well, also bad news for the Marlins. Looks like they're further out of the playoff picture.
Oh.
They also got swept. Phillies took 4 games from them over the weekend.
Why are the Phillies good, by the way? Can someone explain that to me?
It is kind of odd, yeah. They're doing really well. And everybody's like looking at the Braves, and it seems like, the Braves are doing great, but Phillies are holding them off.
Yeah, excuse my ignorance on that, but it's just, I don't understand. Like, all of a sudden, the Phillies are good again. I don't know.
I love this story. This is really great. It's been about, 5 years, I believe, that Rick Ankiel has, been just kind of like chilling here in South Florida. He's got a lot of things going on. I always see him doing some stuff with the Cardinals here and there, and, I see him with his boys up at the ballpark every now and then, but might be playing in the Comeback Kid, doing another one. Rick, what's up, buddy?
What's happening?
Not much, man. How you been?
Oh, man, just busy, but a good busy. Certainly enjoying the summer with the kids and had a lot of traveling going on, a lot of fun things happening, and been awesome.
I'm reading this story, and I got to get where your head's at, and this is an amazing stuff. And I still got my Comeback Kid shirt from years ago that I still love to put on.
Nice.
Are you seriously considering a comeback doing pitching?
Yeah, so, I work with kids that go through the yips or have anxiety, and, I've been playing catch with this kid, and it's been feeling really good. So I knew that I was going to play in that Bluegrass World Series with some of the retired guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, you know what, I want to throw an inning and see how it feels or throw it to a guy. And anyways, I did, and I just wanted to see where the anxiety levels would be. And to be honest with you, they weren't near as much as I thought they would be. So with that being said, and I'm just kind of watching baseball the way it's going, and my kids tell me every day that they want to see me play again, which they were too young to remember. They've never, they don't remember me playing.
How old are your boys now?
They're 6 and 7.
Okay.
So I felt like I'm going to take this whole off season and get into pitching and throwing shape and see where it goes and see how I feel. If I feel like I can suppress the anxiety and I think that my stuff's good enough to come in and get lefties out, then I'm going to make a run at it.
Wow. I love this story.
Why not?
It's so great. Well, I mean, it said here in the story I was reading, you threw a fastball at 87 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
87, 89. But, that's without getting ready. And one thing that I've always had is a good breaking ball, and the breaking ball is not going anywhere. So, I think it would be fun. The point that I'm at in my life now is I could care less if I start throwing balls off the backstop. It doesn't matter. I teach people, not only my kids, but other kids I work with. I'm like, hey, listen, it's the courage to try. That's what it is. Don't ever look back and regret something because you didn't try it. Another thing that I kind of try to live by is I won't let fear stop me from doing something that I really want to do. So I won't let that control my life, whether or not I think anxiety will be too much or not. But the only thing left to do is try it. So that's where I'm going to go.
Describe for me a little bit about what the yips are. Because, so many athletes and people go through this, and, baseball seems to be one of those sports. When you were pitching and, you were known for you had an amazing curveball. You're throwing at least 89 miles an hour. What was it just when you started to go through your struggles, and what have you learned maybe in time? And what would you tell a kid that is maybe struggling with the yips like you had when you were throwing back in the day?
Well, what it is you lose your ability to do something that you've always been able to do. I mean, I went from never having to think about pitching, throwing, any of that to all of a sudden, when I started to lose control of the baseball, anxiety became so much that it was debilitating to where I couldn't even feel the ball. Your body shuts down, your muscles start to lock up, and it's frightening, all these things, but all of a sudden now I can't do something I've always been able to do. And it robbed me of the only thing that I ever wanted, which was be the best pitcher that ever lived. And, when I was young, all those things were falling into place. I mean, we look at what was happening and the kind of talent that I had on the mound, it was like the carrot was being dangled in front of me and I just couldn't reach it. And then all of a sudden it was just taken away where you can't even see it anymore.
Right.
The thing about kids that are going through this, I would say go get help. Don't be embarrassed. You're not alone. It's not your fault. It's just something that happens, but go get help from somebody that's trained and can help you try to get through this. One thing about it, it's easy, that fight or flight response, it's easy to run from it. So the kids that have the courage to go out there and try to beat that, when I understand what's going on inside of them, it's something that I always tell them. I said, look, you'll take the courage that it takes to do this with you the rest of your life and whatever else you do, and it will be important.
Talking with Rick Ankiel here. Now, your hitting, was that ever a problem too? You had the yips with the pitching. Did it affect and bleed over into the hitting as well?
No. I mean, as a hitter, you go through slumps, but that's just hitting. But no, I mean, yeah, was I ever nervous? Of course, but it was not that debilitating type of thing that the throwing stuff was. And even when I moved into the outfield as an outfielder, the crazy part about it was that I'm more accurate from 300 feet than I was from 60 feet. And it's just
right.
One of those bizarre things, you know? I mean, totally. So.
Now, you played in this game with some former major leaguers the other night. You go 2 for 4. You had 4 RBIs.
Still got it.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. And that's where I'm like, as you get older, can you see maybe where you don't have it as much physically, or would you say you're right where you were even in your playing days?
Well, I'm not as in shape because I haven't been training that hard. So at this time I don't, but I don't, if I'm hitting 89 and I haven't even gotten ready, I see it going back up into the low 90s if we're just talking about velocity. The other thing is I threw a guy the day before that. I threw a guy out from right field, so I was laughing with all the guys. I'm like, look, my kids will see me throw a guy out from the outfield, get 2 hits with 4 RBIs, and strike a guy out from the mound. I'm not sure what I can do for you guys.
Seen it all.
Just joking, being cocky, having fun. But it was so much fun just to be back in there with the camaraderie. So we'll see. My point is this: I'm going to get in shape, and we're going to see what happens. That's where it's at.
That's awesome, man. I tell you, I'm pulling for you. I think it's going to be great. I want to remind people to check out the book, too, The Phenomenon, Pressure, the Yips, and the Pitch That Changed My Life is out there, New York Times bestseller, too, on you there, bud.
Ah, you like that, huh?
I do, man. I do.
I do, too.
I do. It's real good stuff. Rick, always good talking to you, my man. Thanks for taking a couple minutes, and we're pulling for you, man. We love to see the comeback kid back out at it again.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, guys, and fun to be on.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Be good.
All right, later.
That's cool stuff, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And I like, too, about him saying with his kids being able to watch him play, because they were so young by the last time he played. So that's always a fun thing, too, as a dad, to be able to have that experience, say, you know what, my kids can watch me do this.
Well, not only is he a local South Florida guy, but I remember watching him with the Cardinals where you love the comeback story and him going through what he did and to retrain himself to be an outfielder and come back. And I remember the game where he first came back with the Cardinals, hit 2 home runs in one game, and the curtain call, and he's out there just bound. I'm just like, how cool is that? To me, it's one of the coolest moments I've ever seen in sports. So really cool to have Rick Ankiel considering giving it another shot, thinking maybe you could be a reliever in the majors.
Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, look, you do better than Chapman did last night, then
yeah,
the team will give him a shot.
All right, check out the show. We're on YouTube. Just look for the KVJ Show. You'll see it right there. You can also check out the podcast. Follow along. It's going to be downloaded on your phone like any day you want it without any kind of commercial interruption. Just look for Kevin's Other Show and find us on Twitter as well.
You listened to him on the KVJ Show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.